Hello everyone, welcome to my English class. In today's topic, we are going to see a poetry, No Men Are Foreign. No Men Are Foreign is a poem written by James Falconer Kirkup, born on April 23rd, 1918, United Kingdom. He is an internationally acclaimed poet, novelist, playwright, and translator. He has written about 30 books, which include autobiography, novels, and plays. His first book of poetry, The Drowned Sailor at the Downs, was published in the year 1947. He is a skilled writer of haiku and tanka. His works include several dozens of poetry collections, 6 volumes of autobiography, and over 100 monographs of original work and translation. This eminent poet died on May 10th, 2009. The poetry No Men Are Foreign, written by James Kirkup, remains that the man-made differences are baseless and they are caused endless war and bloodshed. These divisions based on superficial differences are senseless, and since we all need the same basic resources for our survival, we are all descended from a common source, and therefore we must shun all violences and unite to make our lives better. Armies of the different countries wage war against their brothers. They do not understand that there is an inherent similarity between all human beings. It is only in the times of peace and harmony that civilization progresses and people are content. In fact, if a war is raging in a country, then that country faces the threat of starvation, since all sort of products and produces come to an halt. In this particular poetry, No Men Are Foreign, the poet tells a very sensitive message. He tells us that some people have ceased to believe in the essential of unity of mankind. They believe that a man hailing from a different country is to be hated and discriminated against other people. Such people are the ones who cause wars due to the false beliefs. The poet assures his reader that man is just the same as everyone from everywhere. He experiences the same joy and sorrow that has been descended from the same ancestors. Therefore, he is justified in asking his reader to expel hatred for their fellow human beings from their minds and from all their heart. So he is uh, propagating the message, a very sensitive and strong message of peace and say no to war. Let's now look into the summary of the poetry. The poem expounds the universal truth of brotherhood and equality without any kind of prejudice. No one is foreign or strange. Humanity is the same all over the world, and raising our arms against one another means fighting against ourselves. We are hurting ourselves without knowing it. Wars or conflicts defile the earth which is ours. The poem is obviously a strong plea to establish universal brotherhood as the same heart throbs in all, the heart of man. Let's now look into the poetry in detail. In the first stanza, let's read the first stanza. Then we will discuss the meaning of the first stanza. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes, like ours. The land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we shall lie. In this stanza, the poet emphasizes the value of universal brotherhood. He tells us why we must not hate our brothers and sisters who live in different countries. He asks us never to forget that people living in other countries are not strange or unfamiliar. They may fight for the army for their country, but beneath the uniform, we are all similar. All human bodies live and breathe in the same fashion. We are all brothers because we walk upon the same earth that we have divided into countries. We shall meet the same earth in the end, where we shall be buried after death. Let's now read the second stanza. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars, long winters starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read labor not different from our own. Here in this stanza, the poet gives us further evidence of the unity of man. He says that all people of the world are nourished and nurtured equally by the elements of nature like sun, air, and water. Everyone is united by the sameness of spirit. Like us, the people of other countries too enjoy the harvest in the peaceful times and dread starvation caused by long dawn wars. They too toil to earn livelihood, and their destiny is similar to ours. Let's now read the third stanza. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love in every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. In this third stanza, the poet urges us to remember that the so called strange and foreign people sleep and awake like the way we do. Like us, they too can be won over by love, not by force. Their experiences of life are similar to that of ours. Hence, we all find something similar in each other's life and identify with each other. In the fourth stanza, let's now read the fourth stanza. Let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. In the fourth stanza, the poet says that whenever we are asked by our leaders or our rulers to hate or to exploit the people from other country, we must remember that this hatred will have a negative effect on us. It is a form of self-destruction. If we kill people of any other country, we are endangering human beings as a whole and their survival on earth. We would find ourselves cheated if we would deprive us of all the blessings of the universal brotherhood. We would condemn ourselves to a life of enmity and strangeness. In this poem, the poet is sounding like the way he wants the humankind. He wants to those who are fighting with others in the name of the country and other superficial reason. He also employed a serious tone to exemplify the impact of war on people. And here are few poetic devices. Here, this poem is written in free verse, so the poet has not used any poetic rhyme scheme. So he has written in a free verse style. Metaphor. What is a metaphor? An implied simile is a metaphor. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. War along winter starved are hells of fire. So these are the examples of metaphor used in the poetry. Alliteration, the repetition of the same consonantal sound. Here we have body breathes. The Berber sound is repeated. Wars, winter, were sound is repeated. Transferred epithet is a figure of speech in which an adjective usually used to describe one thing, but it refers at another thing. Peaceful harvests. Here the poet is also using the poetic device a refrain, or in other terms it is also called as repetition. He wanted to create a stronger emphasis on the message he is trying to convey to the readers. The poet repeats the word remember over 5 times in the poetry. He wanted the readers to remember no men are strange, no country is foreign. Remember, no men are foreign, no country strange. He wanted to strongly emphasize that every human beings are same and we have to embrace universal brotherhood. So in this poetry, he insists on us to make peace. Let's see a few words and its meaning. Foreign, belonging to a country that is not our own. Beneath means under. Betray means to deceive. Condemn means criticize. Arms means weapon. Defile means damage the purity of or spoil something. Outrage, violent. So let's save our planet and say no to war. We want peace, not the pieces of the world. That is the same message conveyed by the poet. Thank you so much for listening patiently, and let's meet once again with a different topic. Bye bye. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.